Welcome back to the Recovering Christian Entrepreneur. I am your host, Cam Snow.
And I'm your co-host, Karla Snow. And today we were body doubling. And we realized it's been 2 months since we have posted a podcast episode and realized we were waiting for the opportune moment.
And here it is.
And the irony is, this is not an opportune moment. I have a call in 9 minutes.
Yeah. So this will be a short little episode, but we wanted to give you guys a quick update on where we've been for the last couple months and kind of where we're going and some of the things that are evolving over here with the Recovering Christian Entrepreneur, and give you a little taste of what we got in store and just kind of see what happens in the next 9 minutes, to be honest.
Well, I would love to share about kind of what I discovered about where my place is in all of this.
I think that's a good place to start.
I've been really resisting this whole recovering Christian entrepreneur thing because for Cam, he has the word pasture. And within the church community, he is the light on that hill. And for me, I don't feel like I am even remotely in that camp.
Yeah.
Completely disconnected. And to a season where I was like, to the effect of discovering and also acknowledging that I resent what the word Christian has become. To the point where I was like, am I even a Christian?
Right.
And for me, my heart, and this kind of came through last night as Cam and I were talking, that I don't feel part of the club. And my people are also those people that don't feel part of the club either.
Yeah.
In fact, they've been stuck in the other category where people have been in that cycle of othering.
Us versus them.
Yeah, us versus them. And for me, I want people to have a resting place, for a place to come when you've experienced so much that you are literally asking yourself, you might even be asking yourself as like the same day that you're listening to this podcast on, am I even a Christian? Because what I see ain't it, sis. What I see is the L, not the W. No. And for me, it's you get to embrace the fact that we are all human beings, and your experience of church is really the experience of what human beings have reflected to you. And like me, if you've anything like me, you've experienced a lot of trauma when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Reflection.
Religious trauma.
Yeah, religious trauma from that reflection. And as a rediscovery of the Holy Spirit and of God, and embracing the otherness so that it doesn't become you versus us or us versus them, is all we.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think that the break that we took was unintentional, but it was necessary. And we've been on a little bit of a journey individually. And for me, part of what's been coming up is I've had a number, people always ask me, Cam, like, why is it the recovering Christian entrepreneur and not the deconstructing Christian entrepreneur? And what I realized for me is that what I see oftentimes is that deconstruction is the new fundamentalism. And it's almost like the reason that I wanted something else besides fundamentalism, I see also exhibited by some of the leading voices or TikTok influencers or YouTube influencers, just on the other side. And that's not a game I want to play. I have a really good friend who started going to a church that's more on the progressive side of things, if you want to put it on any kind of a spectrum, and found himself in a position where he felt like he had to leave. And the pastor asked him why. And he said, I didn't leave the evangelical church just to join the other side. And I think that that really encapsulates our heart here, at least my heart, is that recovery is a return to wholeness, because that's what I want. That's what I'm searching for. And I'm not looking to deconstruct something into nothingness. A lot of this process looks like deconstruction. And I've gotten tons and tons of value from following deconstruction kind of thinkers and being in that world. And I want this to be a place for those who really strongly identify with deconstructing. And at the same time, there's been a something within me that has changed and has stirred when people have asked me like about the recovering Christian entrepreneur. I said, well, it's kind of up to your definition of what that means. And I've decided that that's not helpful anymore. And that I'm actually going to put my flag in the ground and say, like, actually the recovering Christian entrepreneur. And I think that there's something for me in terms of the recovering Christian, not just the Christian entrepreneur. That's beyond that. But I think that I'm okay now with saying, like, no, this is a place for people who have experienced religious trauma and are looking for something else. And if you don't identify like that, that's totally fine. But this probably isn't the community or podcast for you right now. We love you. We will absolutely provide a place for you. But know that we're cultivating a home specifically for those people who identify with, you might call it church hurt. I think religious trauma is a more powerful term because it really speaks to the heart of what that means. Like there's really no comparison when you are trying to make a life for yourself and building a business and doing all the things, and at the same time feeling like the floorboards of your foundation are being pulled up. And that's who this is for. So we're pretty much up on time here.
I was going to say, I have an analogy.
Karla's got an analogy, and then you can take us home because I see that your call is in the waiting room of our Zoom room here.
Yeah. So when I used to see the word like deconstruction, I thought of like destroying, breaking down, like just like a toddler that just loves to knock all the blocks down.
Yeah.
And instead I actually see a picture of like, those models that you like build. And when you get to a piece and it's like, and then you realize, oh my gosh, I missed one essential piece. You have to deconstruct. You have to go back to the place within that like manual where that piece wasn't integrated, where that part wasn't integrated.
Yeah.
And so, although I agree in some respects of what you're saying, at the same time, for me personally, when we say church hurt or religious hurt or whatever, we aren't meaning like just like hurt in regards to like religion. We also mean what happens when you experience trauma and how the church, in retrospect, like how the church little C's, because granted, we haven't been to every church. Granted, we are not bashing churches.
Yeah.
Historically, how a lot of times Western culture has addressed trauma and has addressed the parts. And I loved when Cam said coming back to wholeness.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah.
And that isn't just being Christian. Cam's heart and my heart is we don't want to pretend that we are anything other than who we are. And as long as you're okay with the Christian label, how we define the recovering Christian entrepreneur, as long as that's okay with you, ultimately we address what is real. And also, how can we move forward?
Yeah.
As someone who is deeply connected to the Spirit, deeply connected to God, and deeply connected to ourselves and each other.
Yeah. And we're just one perspective offering the thoughts and feelings that are coming up for us on our journey as we just follow where we believe God is leading. And that's what this is. So if you want more of that, go to the Recovering Christian Entrepreneur on Facebook, on the Facebook group, bit.ly/recovering entrepreneur group. Karla's on Instagram. I'm technically on Instagram as well, but I'm really on Facebook. And I am on Threads, but it's like, I don't know if it's going to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? And who knows? But there will be, I have a feeling there's going to be some more content like this. I'm leaning into allowing myself to go more on just straight up Bible topics, because that's something I'm really passionate about. And I think there's a space for Karla to go a lot deeper just on the topics that she's passionate about within this kind of podcast container, having different segments within the Recovering Christian Entrepreneur show, as it were. So thank you for listening.
Yeah. And through everything, it always has implications into your business if you are an entrepreneur, because that is also a piece that we don't want you to miss either.
Yeah.
Because in reality, being an entrepreneur is really just whether you have a business or not. If you are a mom, you are managing your home. You are an entrepreneur. If you are a husband, father, whatever your titles are of who you are to other people, wherever you're at in life, the heart of it all is it is more than me in this world.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Right. I got to go to my next call.
Yeah, you do. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode, y'all. We
Love you all.